Hello everyone, this is Vinay here from Learn Coding with Vinay, and this is video number 8 of our series where we are going over two most important concepts of SQL, which are store procedure and joins, using e-commerce database example. Right. So in previous video we checked the product search store procedure, right, which is very common functionality. There is one more very common functionality in this e-commerce domain, right? That is finding orders based on a date range, right? And this can be used on multiple places, like maybe we can give customer when the all my orders or your order or orders place, we can allow customer to search orders by order, by placing from and to order date, right? Admin guy, help desk guy, or vendor can also use this same functionality, basically search by order dates to track their orders, manage their orders, right? All those stuff. So let's look at this, you know. Now, one more thing I would like to highlight over here is, when we created this order header table, remember we had order date and time as date and time, right? But in most of the cases, this is a very common scenario and little problematic to most of the developers, right? That the column, in this case order date column, is defined as date and time in database, and it is stored as date and time, right? That the data are stored as date and time. But when we design the page, we usually don't allow time to be selected. There will be only date only, right? So when we are dealing with such scenario, it results, if we don't handle it smartly, it results in a wrong result. For example, let's say let's say these two records, right? So we have August 1st and this is August 2nd, right? If I go ahead and just simplify this query, that order date time is greater than equal to so and so, 1st of August 2025, and order date and time to date equal to 2nd of August 2025. If I go ahead and run this, then see this record would not come as a part of our result set. See, we could only see, because ultimately this is converted, see this is converted to 2025 0802000000, right? Ideally, either we can append, the time over here as, now we'll make this 23:59:59, right? We might have to append this every time, or what we can do smartly, we can use just one day more than the two date. So if we use 3, then we will have the orders date ranged between 1st of August and 2nd of August, right? In this case we can change the date accordingly, right? So let's convert this into a store procedure, right? So let me say create procedure dvo dot, will say usp underscore orders by date range, right? Something like this. And we will specify the parameters, the rate from date, that would be date and time, and then there would be to date, that would also be date and time. Or maybe we can, let's say, consider that we have uh, from the front end we have only date selection, not time, right? Date as begin end. So consider that currently we are only bringing order header data, right? So let me take this. Let me follow the face practice. No count on, right? Instead of select star, we will say, what do we have? We have ID, we have customer ID, we have order date, time, order status, and let's say last update that is not required. That's an auditing column. We don't require it over here, right? So we have two parameters, from date to date, and we are using it over here. So let me replace this actually hard code value with the parameter names. So let me create this sp Okay, it is created, and let's execute using the same parameter we did in query. So let me take this and I'll just say comma over here. So ideally this will bring two records because the two date we have as a 3rd of August. Let me make it 2nd of August. See, we get only one record, right? So usually, as a user's perspective, if you think about user's perspective, then I will think that okay, I'll get order from the date of 1st of August also and 2nd of August also. That's a user perspective, right? But currently the result is not like that, right? So what do we need to do over here? We just need to add one day over here in the to date. And so what do we need to do? We will have to say date add. We will have to use this date add function, and we will be adding day, how many, one, into the parameter, right? So that this would be something like this. Let me alter the procedure. Okay, great. Now let me go ahead and run this. Right. So now it is taking the order of 1st August also and 2nd August also. Right. So this way we can smartly handle this rather than converting it to like hard coding string like this, or placing over here also colon 0 0 0 0 0 0 rather than doing that. We can smartly do this. Just take the just add the one day into the end date, or to date basically, right? Now this can be used at multiple places, as we said. Customer can use this also in your order, or my order place, right, to filter records, or vendor admin and help desk guy also used to track orders between certain range, right? But for customer to use, we need one more parameter over here. That would be customer id, right? We'll mark it as integer and we'll mark it as optional parameter. So if customer id is passed, it will only take the customer, that customer and date range as parameters, right? If not passed, then it will not use it, right? We saw the similar example in previous sps also. So let me make this way, right? So date range is the parameter. Date range will always be there, but customer can be optional. So what we'll be doing, we'll use coalesce. If customer id is passed, we will use it. If customer id is not passed, we will use customer id column, right? So I missed the left hand side of the condition. So we'll make something like this, and it will have to be appended with and, right? So let me go ahead and run this, right? So we alter the store procedure. If I go ahead and run this, let's see what is happening. It will say it is a error. Okay, so let me do one thing over here. Usually, a better practice says that try to provide optional parameter at the end of the parameter list in store procedure. So let me do that. So now the customer ID. Now we are not passing the customer ID, so it will result in this. Now if I pass the customer ID, one or two, then it should bring only that one record. Let's say one. Excellent. Let's say two. Okay, excellent. These are working. And if I don't pass anything, then it will bring all customer data, right? So from the customer your order or my order page, we should be passing customer id. For the admin, vendor and other users, if they want to select customer, they can select customer. Otherwise only the date range would work, right? So this is just a basic example, and here we are using only one table. Now we want the order details, order header, order items, and customer details also, and product also, right? So what do we need to do over here? We will have to join the other tables. So let's first join, go one by one, and whenever we are working on join, make sure we are using alias names, right? So let me make this oh dot, right? And all this should be oh dot, oh dot, and this should be again oh dot. Now let's bring out the order items also, right? So we will say inner join. I'll take it from here, oi basically OI and on, and we know that OH.ID, that is our order ID, that should be equal to OI.order ID, right? So as I said, whenever you are working on join as a beginner, list down, what all tables are involved, what columns are involved, and how they are connected. Basically, primary key, knowing primary key and foreign key of those tables will help you in join conditions, right? So this is this. Now let me add the order item dot, I would say just ID, OI dot, let's say product ID, then OI dot, maybe let's say discount, yeah, OI dot uh, price, okay, and OI dot quantity. Let me take the discount actually after the price, right? So let's just run these two. So we are bringing all product or order header details and order items also at the same time, right? So now we have this one order which has two product in it. We have this order which have two product in it, number 3 and number 4. Here we have 1 and 2. Now let's bring out the product ID, product name. Actually we need product name over here, right? So where do we have that? So we'll have to again use another inner join with dbo dot product, just the product. Let's give it a name as pd on oi dot, in the order item we have product id, right? So we'll use oi dot pd dot id, right? And let's just pd dot let's bring product category also, and let's pd dot product name also, right? Now let me alter the store procedure and run this again. So procedure is altered. If I go ahead and run this now, so we have product category and product name also, price, discount, and everything we already have, right? Now one more thing, that we need customer name and address also, right? So we don't have it currently we just have customer id. So what do we need to do? We will have to use again an inner join on dbo dot customer, let's say cs, on we have order header as customer, we have customer id in order header table, right? So we'll use oh dot customer id is equal to cs dot id, and this should be dot, and after customer id column, let's bring this cs dot, we'll take name, we'll take cs dot mobile, and we'll take cs dot address, right? So let me alter this procedure. Okay, we are missing something over here, let's see. Okay, comma was missing. Excellent. Now let me go ahead and run this. So we could see the, now we can see customer id, customer name, mobile number, address, right? Order date and time. And let me make this as actually order id, so that we know it's an order id, not just id, right? We go ahead and run this. Now it is says order id, customer name, mobile address, order date and time, order status. This id is id of the order item. Ideally we can remove it, but let it be. Then product id, product category, product name, price, discount, and quantity. Now rest of the, actual price, discount, price, that I am not calculating, we did it in the past, right? But if required, you can do that also, right? So over here, if you have noticed, we used a store procedure that involves all our four tables: customer, products, order header, and order item. And the key thing to note over here is, we very smartly created this store procedure that can be used multiple places. We can only use date range also, and we can pass date, customer id also, right? So it can be used on customer page, my order or your order place also. And if there is a custom search or advanced search for vendor, admin guy or help desk guy, they can also use this same procedure. So this can be, purpose of creating stored procedure is that only you can use it on multiple places, right? And we also follow the base practice, right? Setting no count on, so that we don't see that message that this many rows selected or something like that, right? We very smartly avoided writing extra code by just adding two date, 1 day in two date, because this is a very common scenario people used to miss it, right? So whenever you have a scenario where on the front end you have only date selection, but in the database it is stored as date and time, then use, and you want to filter data based on a date range, then use from date as it is, but rather than using two date as it is, add 1 day to it, right? So that way we can cover the records created in the midnight also, right? Then if required we can add sorting, but as of now I am not doing it. We can add sorting order by date, order date and time descending. Let me add this quickly, so this is complete actually. Order by order date time desc. Let me go ahead and run this, right? So we have order who was made the latest, which was made latest on the top, right? So this guy is on the top, and then we have the one. Let's try changing date a little bit. Instead of 2, let me say 10. Okay, so now we have a wider data, right? So this is working nicely, right? So that's it in this video. I hope you like this video, and thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video.